We're here today because the Department of Justice, the entity that is supposed to be the chief enforcer of the law, is aiding and abetting local governments in the failure to enforce the law. And to put this in terms that almost anyone can understand, the consent decree can be interpreted to require New Orleans adopt policies that require its officers to actually violate federal law. Let me repeat that one more time. This administration's Department of Justice is actually requiring New Orleans police officers to break the law in an effort to further their political agenda. State and local law enforcement can be trusted to provide security for members of Congress, both here and in our home districts. They can be entrusted to enforce murder laws, child sex laws, kidnapping laws. They can participate in federal task forces on terrorism and narcotics trafficking. But God forbid they lift a finger to assist in the enforcement of federal immigration laws. But for the Department of Justice to go as far as seek a consent decree to actually inhibit the ability of the federal government to enforce federal law is stunning, even for a Department of Justice that has unfortunately become increasingly politicized. Which leads us to why we are here today. Not only does this place ICE agents and officers at greater risk when they're forced to arrest criminal aliens who are no longer in a secure jail facility, but instead in public places where they can more readily escape or access a weapon, but it also prevents officers from accomplishing their ultimate goal, which is public safety. We already know there are cities more interested in providing sanctuary for criminals than a safe haven for our very own citizens. We know there are cities who clamor for the federal government to assert itself into matters that are not inherently federal in nature, but refuse to assist federal law enforcement in matters that actually are inherently federal. Under current policy, the New Orleans Police Department prevents its officers and employees from communicating with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement regarding the immigration status of an arrestee. New Orleans Police Department officers, quote, shall not take law enforcement action on the basis of actual or perceived immigration status, including the initiation of stops or other field contacts. And let me read the salient part of that again. Police officers shall not take law enforcement action on the basis of actual immigration status. And on February 28, 2016, New Orleans Police Department issued a written policy entitled Immigration Status, which, number one, prohibits officers from inquiring about an individual's immigration status. Number two, prohibits officers from assisting or supporting ICE's immigration enforcement. And number three, mandates any ICE request for support or assistance be declined. In addition to being mind-numbingly antithetical to the faithful execution of the law, which is among the primary responsibilities of the executive branch, this New Orleans policy statement appears to violate Section 8 U.S.C. Code 1373, which provides no person or agency may prohibit or restrict federal, state, or local agency from sending, requesting, receiving, or exchanging information with ICE regarding unlawfully present aliens.